Hey y'all, it's Katie. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. First off, I just want to throw out there, yes, I am sick. I got a bit of like a head cold, sore throat, something like that going on, but I feel like I sound different, so I just want to throw it out there. If you do also think I sound different, it's because I'm sick. But moving on from that, today's video I'm super excited to be sharing with you because I'm going to be talking about brushes, but it's not just going to be any kind of laid back, easy, chit chat about favorite brushes. It's going to be a really challenging video for me because it is answering the question if I could only keep 10 brushes. Which, if you're new to my channel, let me go ahead and just throw up a picture here of what my desk looks like on the daily. These are all the brushes that I own, and yes, I use the majority of them. I am someone who's a bit excessive when it comes to brushes, both for face. I mean, yeah, I feel like I use a lot for face, but especially eyeshadow brushes. I feel like I can use anywhere from at least 5 to 10 or 15 brushes in an eye look because I like little detail brushes. I like switching it up. I like grabbing a new one, like a clean brush to brush things out, smooth things over. So I use a lot of brushes. So answering this question of only picking 10 brushes to do a complete face, like if I could only pick 10 for the rest of my life, is slightly terrifying, but it is a challenge that I was given by my friend Samantha March here, and I am going to be undertaking it today because this is a collab video with Samantha March. I reached out to her and see if she wanted to do a collab video with me around brushes, and she had this idea of like, hey, you want to do it if you can only keep 10 brushes? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'd love to. That sounds like a lot of fun. So that's what we're doing today because I couldn't tell her no. No, it also sounded like a fun challenge. Not that she pressured me into it or anything. So that is the video we are doing today. And as I said, it is in collaboration with Samantha March. If you are not aware who Samantha March is, I feel like everyone who follows me follows Samantha March. She and I have been friends long before my channel started, and so I know I mentioned and I've collabed with her in the past here. But if you are not aware who Samantha March is, she is a phenomenal YouTuber. I'll go ahead and put her picture over here. She is a beautiful soul. She has such a kind heart, and all her videos come across, it just brings across her personality so well. Like, she's so caring, she's so thoughtful. She's still like very lighthearted and goofy. She has a very fun personality that she allows to shine through her videos, and each one of her videos are always so interesting. She's, able to come up with such unique ideas. She's the one who took a positive spin on the anti-hauls and created her Will I Buy It series, and I think it's like so genuine to her. But that's not the only type of content she has over there. She's always, trying new makeup. She's always, showing new collections that come out, and she's really, really good at coming back and giving reviews, which I appreciate so much. I enjoy hearing someone's thoughts on things. I appreciate her thoroughness and still bringing reviews, very thorough and thoughtful reviews. So highly recommend her channel. She has a nice variety of content over there, as I was just saying. Definitely recommend you check her out. And yeah, we are collaborating on this video today together. I cannot wait to get into it. I cannot wait to see the brushes she picks. It was very difficult to sit down and think, okay, if I could only pick 10. And so for the look today, I was like, okay, Katie, you can only use those 10 brushes to make sure those are in fact the 10 brushes you would pick. I was almost successful. I cheated twice, but I feel like it wasn't like a big cheat because one was for the cut crease, which I don't have to do cut creases every day, and if I did, I could use a different brush, and then the other was for the inner corner, which was definitely a cheat. But again, I could have used one of these other brushes, but I was just feeling lazy this morning and a little sick as I was waking up, and I didn't feel like cleaning off the brush to use it multi-purposely. But anyway, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I think that was everything I wanted to say. Definitely make sure you go check out Samantha's channel, and if you're coming over from Samantha's channel, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for checking out my content. I hope my voice isn't too annoying. Of course, I'm going to be sick when new people might be visiting my channel, but I don't usually sound like this, I promise. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's go ahead and dive in to answering the question and picking out 10 brushes from like the millions I feel like that I own. Which 10 would I pick? Okay, so let's go ahead and just kind of start how I do my makeup and using the brushes and whatnot that I did this morning. And that way we can kind of go from there, and it's just a little bit easier for me to keep it sorted in my head. So the very first brush that I use is, I do my eyes first, and the first brush that I used this morning was some type of blending brush. And if I can only pick, 10 brushes, I have to really limit it here. I'm going to pick a really nice brush that can be dual purpose, and so for that reason I picked the Sonia Crease Pro brush. This brush right here is expensive, but there's something really special and magical about it. It's a really nice blending brush, but it has a beautiful taper to the side that allows it to be used more pointedly if you just want to do a little area to really get that little area, and that's it. Or if you're wanting a bigger area, you can kind of swirl and blend in circular motion and get a bigger area. And so I just feel like when it comes to blending brushes, I'm not really into the big fluffy blending brushes anymore. I like more pointed and more detailed type of blending brushes, and this allows me to do several different types of you know, detail blending brushes. So that's kind of why I picked this, because I feel like the all-in-one is maybe a touch smaller than I would like, because I don't mind a little bit bigger than this, but I can only pick 10. I had to kind of, you know, cut down and think about my favorites. So I decided to go with this, and I used it today for my crease, and it was really easy to use, and just kind of use it a little bit bigger to really blend out and diffuse the bright green and get it from like my crease all the way kind of diffusing out to my brow bone. I also love that, like I said, you could use just the tip for kind of packing it on and getting it in there, or you can even use the side of it to really pack it on there, and then you kind of use the whole brush as a whole to blend it out and act as that like large fluffy blending brush. Yeah, the Crease Pro, one of my favorites for sure, and if I can only pick 10, I'm going to be picking my favorites, and this is definitely one of them. It's so soft and blends so well. After that, I wanted to stick something darker right into my crease, and for that I picked the E42 brush from Sigma. This little brush, I think I have 2 or 3 of them in my collection, and I'm always using them. As soon as they're clean, they're dirty again, because they're just so fantastic. So this would definitely be one of those brushes, because kind of like in the same vein as the first brush that I mentioned, it's just like a tinier, smaller version of it. So it's really great for getting in the crease there and really working to pack on, and also not only pack on and get color in there, but then diffuse it out with, you know, gentle blending and whatnot. So it does a really great job in that aspect. And like I said, it's just like a tinier version, so it just works better to do more detailed work. It can also, you know, work really nicely on the lower lash line as well, because it is that type of blending brush, but it is so small and minute. It is really nice down there. So it's, again, a multi-purpose type of brush. It's really handy. I use it so very much, so had to pick this as well. I like to have detail brushes for working in my crease, and this is one that I use all the time, so I feel like I could get by in life if, when it comes to like blending brushes, these were the only 2 I had. I'd use them religiously every single day, but they would hold up, they would do what I wanted, and they'd work really well, kind of multi-purpose around my eyes. Moving on from that, I like to have something to pack on the color in the outer corner, and for that I had to pick another Sonia G. This is the Builder Pro brush. This is a fantastic little brush. I love it so much. It works fantastic for packing on shadow in the outer corner, and it packs color on so well. Like, this brush is so incredibly soft. It almost feels like nothing, like little fairy kisses as you're packing it onto your lid. Like, it's just such a soft brush. I love it. But not only that, it packs on really well. You can turn it on the side, and you can actually blend really nicely with this brush, which I really like, that it's not just kind of like one and done type of brush. I can pack it on, and I can blend, and I can diffuse the edges and whatnot with this brush. And again, this is another brush that's multi-purpose. I use it for my lower lashes to put the darkest color right against my lashes, and because it is so tiny and detailed, but still fluffy at the tip and soft at the tip, it was a dream. Like, it doesn't hurt when I use it on my lower lash line. It's not scratchy at all. It is so soft. I almost don't feel it when I'm using it on my lower lash lines, and I love that about it. It's just a great brush to use around sensitive areas of your eyes, and it works so well. So another brush that's multi-purpose. I can get it done. I can pack on. I can blend a little. I can use it on my lower lash line. A great brush. Okay, so last up for the eyes, I have to have something to pack on shimmer onto my eyes. So for that, I picked the Sigma F70 brush. This is technically a face brush. It's called the concealer brush, but I love it for my eyeshadows, and it's great for picking up shimmers and really laying it down and smoothing it out. It's one of my favorite, and it's a little bit larger, I feel like, than like a flat eyeshadow brush, so maybe that's why I like it, because it's very detailed and it gets the work done quickly, and it's just so great at picking up shimmers. This is a brush that I could have used to cut my crease as well. I have used this in the past, but I was just feeling lazy today, and I don't want to like clean it and then have to kind of dry it off before using it for the shimmer. So that's why I didn't do that, but it does work for cut creases because I've used this brush several times. But anyway, using it for shimmers, it's really great, nice and flat, but it still has a very good taper to the side, and I feel like that taper to it really helps to grab onto the shimmers and pick them up and then deposit and smooth it out, because it's so, not so stiff in a bad way, but because it's nice and stiff, it really helps to lay it down. So another brush that, I mean, I have countless of these in my collection from various brands, but just from Sigma, I think I have 3 of these because I love them so much. I have some dupes from ColourPop that I really like, but if I'm gonna pick a brush, I want to make sure that it's gonna last forever. If I can only pick 10, so I was like, you know what? I know Sigma quality is really, really good. I'm gonna pick Sigma's brush because I know it's gonna last a long time, and I'll probably be washing it a ton because I'm going to use it so much. So had to go with the Sigma F70. It is a fantastic brush for my shimmers. Okay, so moving over to my face. That's pretty much all I use for my eyes. Moving over to my face, I need to do my foundation, and my number one brush when it comes to my foundation, I have been using this brush almost exclusively ever since I got it, but it's the BK Beauty 101 brush. I absolutely love this for foundation. There's something super special about it because not only, it's like a flat top kabuki brush, but it's a lot better than a flat top kabuki brush in my opinion. It's got that flat top that kabuki brushes have. However, However, it has a beautiful like taper and roundedness to it to soften it, because my issue with like flat top kabuki brushes is it's so just sharp, and it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I'm moving, you know, foundation, like tugging foundation around. But this has such a nice softness and taperness to the edges of the brush that it's just, it feels so gentle on my face and so soft, and it works just so beautifully with the foundation, because you can really use it to either press it in on that slant and just push your foundation in, or because it has that nice roundedness and taperness to the sides, you can use it in a swirling motion and it doesn't feel like it's tugging or anything, and it's just very gently working it in. So this is a shape that I have quickly become to love. The bristles itself are just so very soft, and they work just so beautifully to blend in your foundation. I absolutely love it. It is a beautiful brush. I have found a cheaper dupe, but again, if I'm only picking 10 brushes to use for the rest of my life, I'm going to make sure it's a good quality brush because I want it to hold up to daily use. So that's why I went with the BK Beauty brush, because it's just amazing 101 brush, one of my favorites. If I had to pick one favorite brush from BK Beauty, it'd be this one, because it's very unique and special. Like I said, I found a dupe, a cheaper dupe for it, but that's the only brush I found that comes close to this. There's not very many in the cheaper alternative routes that have this shape, that have this beautiful taper to the side, that have this softness to the bristles. So definitely something special about it. Definitely would not lose this. So if I could only pick 10, this would be one of the ones I am picking. Okay, moving on to concealer. I did a little bit of a mess up because I just automatically reached for the shape that I know I love, and I was gonna pick the Sigma F79 brush because I have been using this for so many years. It's fantastic. But when I was picking things out, I just saw the top of it and I was like, oh yeah, that's the F70. But it's actually the sister brand to Sigma. It's the Practic Foundation brush. It's the same thing, except like this is Sigma's cheaper sister. I don't know quality-wise because I haven't owned this one as long as Sigma, so for the purposes of this video, I would pick the Sigma because I just know quality-wise it's gonna hold up, but in the demo portion, you're gonna see me using the Practic one. But just know this is the one I mean. The bristles are literally identical, so if you are curious to try this one, go get the Practic one because it's cheaper. But anyway, I love the Sigma F79 brush. I have 3 or 4 of them in my collection. I use them all the time. There's just something so easy about blending out your concealer with this. It's able to not only press it in on this curve, but also kind of blend as you go, and you can, I don't know, it's just, it almost like helps melt your concealer in, and it's just so easy and quick because it has this nice dome to it. It's nothing too harsh. It's got a beautiful slant to it, so I just press it against my skin and I just go back and forth, up and down, and after a couple times it's like boom, all done, all blended in, good to go. Absolutely love this brush. Like I said, I have so many of them. They've held up so well over the years. I feel like there was a lot of hype for this back in the day, and it's totally granted because it's a fantastic little concealer brush that I use literally almost every day. Once that's all blended in, I like to set my face. I am a very oily skin girl, so I cannot skip setting my face. So I have a lot of favorite when it comes to face brushes for setting, and so I had to pick 2. I know I feel like that's extra, but like I said, I like setting my face. I like to set it a certain way. I gotta set it, so I have my favorites. But anyway, for setting my under eyes, I really love the Stilazzi L307 brush. This brush is just a great little brush to not only, it's kind of like in the same vein as the F79, except it's just fluffy and it just works with powder more than, you know, liquids, because it just goes right underneath there, and I can kind of tap it in, or I can blend it or like buff it away, and it just works so beautifully because it has that really roundedness to the tip. It's nothing too flat, so I can use literally any side, and I can just go for it and do it like this way. I can do it on this side. I can do it, you know, kind of pressing it in on the side. There's just multiple ways to use this. Very quick and easy. Blends out a powder that I put over my concealer really well. I'm someone who likes to press in my concealer initially and then buff it away just so there's no weird streaking, and this works great for both pressing and blending. It's a great 2-in-1, and I just use it so very much. It can also do more pointedly around the nose or on the forehead. You can use it for that, but it's my go-to when it comes to my under eye concealer. I've been using it so very faithfully, and I have a lot of brushes that I enjoy for my under eyes, but if I'm only gonna pick one, it's gonna be this brush. And then moving over to my face, I surprised myself with this, but I really love the It Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe Radiant Wand number 14 brush. This is fantastic. I kind of go back and forth, and I like, you know, try different brushes and use different brushes, but this is one of the faithfuls that I always return to. And I think it's because I like the shape of it, the softness of it, and the size of it. It makes it so easy to like tap on my powder and kind of press it in, and because it has this taper to the side, I can just kind of act like it's a flat top almost and just press it in. But then after that, once I've kind of pressed it in, it's really great for also taking on the tip and swirling all that excess powder and really making sure I buff and blend and get all the extra powder off, but also blend it and buff the powder into my face. And it's great. It's really nice and soft. It works really well to blend in the powder. Like I said, I've been using it just so much, and I always surprise myself because I have much larger brushes that could get the job done well. But there's just something about this. I think it's just a perfect size. It's big, but it's not too big, and it's, you know, smaller, but it's not too small. That just makes me keep coming back to it. So if I only had to pick one, I definitely pick this, and I know It Cosmetics quality would last me forever. So yeah, this is my pick for, you know, setting my face and using a powder. Okay, moving on from there, I only have 2 more brushes. This was getting so hard at this point. However, I had to use a bronzer brush. If you guys don't know me, if you're new to my channel, I love to bronze. I'm someone who can totally skip on highlighter and blush, but I need bronzer. That's just my go-to, my thing. I love bronzer. So I had to pick a bronzer brush. And for that, I picked the Beauty Junkies Pro Duo Fiber Brush, because not only is this incredibly like large and fluffy, so it's great for like bronzing the perimeters of your face, which I used it for today, but it's so soft and easy to kind of use in different purposes that I can just kind of take the tip of it and I kind of pinch it like this, and I was able to use it to contour today very nicely. So I was able to get that 2-for-1, the contour and the bronzer, very easily. I love a duo fiber when it comes to bronzers because it just gives me more of that airbrushed and not such a harsh line when it comes to my bronzers, and I'm someone who loves to go ham with my bronzers, so having a brush that'll help ease that out and kind of soften and diffuse everything is a must, and this brush is fantastic. I haven't owned this brush as long as all my other brushes, but it's held up so well so far. I know a lot of my friends who own this brush and have owned brushes from Beauty Junkies for a long time, many years, and they have always said that it holds up really well, so I have confidence in that this brush is going to last a long time. But it's relatively new to my collection, I think early or towards the end of last year, but ever since it came into my collection, it's been a die-hard favorite. I'm reaching for it constantly, so I had to pick this because I love that I'm able to easily get that contour bronze purpose for it. I love that I can use it for both of those things, and yeah, it was kind of a 2-for-1 for this case, that I can both contour and bronze with it if I can only pick 10 brushes. Okay, and last up, oh, this was so hard, but last up I had to have a highlighter brush. And for that I picked the Sigma F03 brush. This has been a die-hard favorite ever since I bought it on the recommendation of Angelica Nyquist. I think I bought her set is the first time I got it, and then after I got it and was using it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And I bought a couple more. I have a couple dupes of this brush in, you know, with cheaper brands, so this shape is just my favorite when it comes to highlighter. So if I could only pick 10 brushes, I'd want to have a highlighter brush if I could, and this would definitely be my go-to shape when it comes to a type of highlighter brush. And this brush F03 is fantastic, and I know that Sigma quality is there, so it is gonna last forever. So yeah, this would be my pick. It's just fantastic. It's great for using that side of the brush to really pick up the highlighter, and then not only, you know, blend it in, this really works to buff it and mesh it into your skin so very nicely, and you can get a really blinding highlight very easily, in my opinion, with this. So had to pick this one, kind of short and to the point here, but this is a fantastic brush. I absolutely love it. It's my favorite go-to when it comes to highlighter brushes, and I really enjoy doing a highlighter, so since I was able to fit it into 10 brushes, this is the one I would pick. Alright, so those are all the brushes that I would pick. Those are the 10 brushes. If I could only pick 10 brushes to use for the rest of my life, these are the ones I would pick. And I was kind of surprised myself that I only picked 4 eyeshadow brushes because, as I said, I'm someone who goes excessive when it comes to eyeshadow brushes, but I actually have like those die-hard musts when it comes to my face that I just had to pick. Like, I couldn't imagine taking any of these out, so that only left 4 eyeshadow brushes. So I was able to whittle it down and, you know, come to the realization that, you know, Katie, you could get a, you know, good job, a good eye look done with just 4 brushes if you had to. So this was a lot of fun. Definitely a challenge, but I had fun kind of sitting down yesterday and figuring out which are my favorite, which are my go-to, what can I not live without, and these are the 10 that I would not want to live without. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know your thoughts down below as always. And of course, please go and check out Samantha and her video. She's going to pick 10 brushes, and as I said, I can't wait to see what brushes she picks and just to see where her priorities lie and, you know, what's important to her in her makeup routine. I think that's always fun to see. And I'll be sure to link her channel and her video down below so you can easily find it in my description box if you want to go down there. But yeah, with all that said, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you want to continue getting daily content from me, I'm over on Instagram. I'm LadyKatie92 over there. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up as it helps me in the whole YouTube algorithm. And with all that said, that's going to do for me. I will see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye guys.